Welcome to the Dutch and Denver podcast. It's been, I don't know, a while. I've been super busy. I still have my brother and his wife and their two kids here. So it's been kind of crazy. If you guys hear a child screaming, that's what that is. If a random child walks in during the podcast, that's what that is. You might hear some background noise. I guess Batman said on the last one we did. But we'll work through it. Once again, tons of stuff to cover this week. Yes, I know what happened. We'll get to it. It plays off a couple other things, but we'll talk about it. Probably shouldn't, but some things need to be said, and it will be like beating a dead horse. If you know what I'm talking about, pay attention later in the podcast, and you'll totally get it. Well, let's see. March Madness is still going on. The Buffs are out. They did really well their first two games, and then thought it'd be a good idea to suck ass. First two games or first game? It didn't go well. They got a lot of help from the refs in losing. The refs were definitely not on their side, and I mean, you should never put the fate of a game in the hands of the refs, but this was pretty bad. I guess they also had some things on their mind relating to what happened that day. So yeah, I can understand a little bit. They didn't do great. SC's still in it. They look fantastic. They beat the brakes off Kansas. I won a lot of money on March Madness too. First half unders have done me well. Very, very well. And then over and unders have done pretty well. I hit big on the Baylor under. I got it at like 139 and a half, and they were right at 139. Crushed that. Let's see. SC's gonna have a tough game in Sweet 16, but I'm confident. I'm picking them. I've got them in the Elite Eight and then losing out, but I think they're playing really well right now, and they have a favorable draw for their style of basketball play. Michigan made it through just because they were handed the win. And this is why everyone hates Michigan and Ohio State and schools like this. First of all, the Big Ten has like 12 teams in the tournament, and there's like one left. They all suck. They're highly overrated in most of the collegiate sports I watch. Football, both teams are horribly overrated. Basketball, definitely. Like I said, the Michigan game, the guy steps out of bounds. Clearly, it's not a question. Steps out of bounds, steps back in bounds, makes a shot and gets called foul. So, gives up 2 or 3 points because he's out of bounds, and the ref's standing right there. It's super clear. It just, fuck these schools. And then I have to go to PT and listen to Mac like, rah, 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 Michigan, Michigan, Michigan. So, but they were handed that game as per usual with the refs, which, it's sad, but it's what happens these days. I guess it's about money or who knows. It's just ridiculous. And Ohio State, like I said, we talked last time, they flopped. They looked like shit because they are. They should have never been number 2 or 3 or whatever number they were. So, I don't know. We'll see. What else? March Madness, like I said, it's been a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to Sweet 16 Elite 8 this weekend. Still have the nephews here, so it'll be kind of a challenge to watch all of that together. The Avs are doing really well. They were going for like their 8th in a row last night, I think, and they just lost rookie goalie, some poor decision making for the defenseman. But if we drop 1 out of every 8, I might be okay with that. I'd be more happy with 1 out of every 10. But 8's kind of fun. So maybe one of the reasons that the Buffaloes did not play super good is I believe Monday night. Yeah, today's Wednesday. Monday afternoon in Boulder, Colorado, there was another mass murder. And I'm going to do my best to call it a mass murder because it wasn't a shooting. This guy wasn't a shooter. He was a murderer. I'm a shooter. Anytime I go to the range and practice, you're a shooter. Okay? I mean, that's what you do in shooting sports. You're a shooter. This guy was not a shooter. He's a fucking murderer. Okay? Stop calling him a shooter. It wasn't a mass shooting. It was a mass murder. The guy's a piece of shit. Okay, yeah. So in Boulder, a grocery store had some guy commit mass murder there. Um, and as the news, broke of all this, and we're Colorado. We're not like tone deaf when it comes to this. We have had Columbine. We had that theater idiot. All mass murders. And I'm here to tell you I'm gonna be one of the other half that says it's guns are not the problem. Okay. And the knee-jerk reaction is now we have a new one, which is nuts. And this will be part of stupid tweets. So I think we'll do stupid tweets now and towards the end just to reiterate a lot of this. But the amount of tweets and social media and news and people that as soon as this was like, there's an angry white Trump loving hillbilly murdering more people. Well, it turns out he wasn't any of those things. He's from Syria, so Muslim, hated Trump for his anti-Muslim nonsense. And yeah, I mean, clearly the guy's mentally fucking unstable, but I mean, it wasn't a white guy. And now all these people have to walk back their dumbass assertions and literally nothing happens to them. Literally nothing. There's like, oh, well, gun control. It's not gun control. This is, again, these are the knee-jerk reactions. It wasn't a white guy. So if you said he was white or you think that all, you can fuck yourself. First of all, if you have anything to say, actually, you know what? In these tragedies, and this is, I mean, I thought about not talking about this at all, but it tied in with the buffs, and I mean, it's all over the place. If you don't know what happened, you're under a rock. But what I think we should do in times like this, if you're not a news reporter who it is your job, and we'll get back to them too, but it is your job to be there, and all you have to do is report and say, there was a mass murder at a grocery store in Boulder. That's it. X people were murdered. This is who we think did it. We'll let you know. Okay? I don't need your fucking opinion about it. And I surely don't need anybody else's opinion about it. Especially when your opinion is through your fucking belly button because your head is so far up your ass. Like, it was a white guy. I'm an angry white guy. I'm having a bad day, man. Fuck you. It wasn't. So you're wrong. And no one will give a shit. You'll just wait till the next one and then you'll bounce on again and be like, white guy, white guy, white guy. And if it was, you'll be like, see, I told you, they're all crazy angries. And if you're wrong, we'll just start the cycle over again and you'll just wait for the next one. But the opportunities that folks take when these tragedies strike is shocking to me. The first thing you do is you jump on your gun control bandwagon and just start from the top of your lungs screaming this shit out. I'm going to tell you, this has fucking zero, not even a little bit, just zero to do with gun control. It's nothing. People are plenty capable of committing mass murder without guns. Okay? It has got nothing to do with fucking guns. It is an unstable whack job who decided to kill a bunch of people. At the Bastille Day in Paris or whatever, the guy ran people over with a bus or a truck. Outlaw buses, outlaw trucks, get him out of here. Didn't hear that, never hear that. Again, it's not the tool. It's the craftsman. And in this case, the tool is a gun, and the craftsman is a fucking crazy Muslim. But no, why don't we start outlawing Muslims? Yeah, but can't you? Yeah, I'm kidding. That's a joke. But seriously, I mean, this is the reaction we get every time from guns is outlaw guns. Get them around. You know, and I can't remember. It's either Biden or Harris. Harris is like, we're not taking your guns. And Biden's are like, yeah, we're taking them all. Fuck you. He also says, you know, I'm not going to wait a minute. I'm not going to wait an hour, a year. I'm going to do this right now. I have no facts whatsoever. I'm going to be like, and I'm just going to get rid of assault weapons. Okay. Assault weapons can be fucking anything. Do you understand that? I can assault you with a baseball bat. I could probably assault 3 people with a baseball bat fairly easily. Are we going to call that an assault weapon? An assault style weapon? Anything is an assault weapon, you fucking retard. That's what you do with them, is assault people. And it wasn't specifically designed for that. Okay, you got me there. Guns are specifically designed to kill. That's exactly what they're there for. Mainly protection. But yeah, that's exactly what they're there for. The majority of people don't kill people with them either. So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. No one's going to outlaw them. You're going to have a shit show in your hands. And again, it's not the problem. The problem is crazy fucking people. This guy has got a mile long. This should have, a long time ago, this wacko should have been looked at and been like, hey man, what's going on over there? But no. You know, his family's like, oh, well, yeah, we just watched him play with guns for a couple weeks and we knew he was fucking, come on. And now I'm not saying if you think someone's crazy, you go take their guns. But this was a long time coming. Nobody just gets up one day and is like, yep, I'm going to go murder a bunch of people. Okay, there are signs there. It's just, outlawing guns isn't going to work. Like the old saying goes, we outlaw guns, only outlaws will have guns. And then we really are going to have only the bad guys have guns. Right now, there's a fuckload more good people than bad people who have guns. And if you think that you're going to get rid of them, A, you're not. But if you think that that's the issue, you're a moron. You are a stupid person. Okay? Well, what about assault and high capacity? Me. No, fuck you. Again, the majority of responsible gun owners compared to the portion of irresponsible gun owners is fucking huge. There's like 80 billion of us and like 6 of them. It's never going to happen. And we've been over this 100 times. You don't need a high capacity magazine for hunting. You don't need any of that stuff for hunting or home defense, things like that. You know, normal will do it. You need assault style weapons and high capacity magazines for when you've had enough of the fucking government and it's time to get a new one. Kind of like what we did to start our country. You think if George Washington and all his buddies were totally unarmed, this would have gone so well against the British? I don't think so. And they recognize that. And that's why we have 2A. It has nothing to do with fucking hunting or any of that shit. It is literally to keep your goddamn government in check. And that's how it starts. They take away your right to defend yourself from, people. No, it's to defend myself from you, from the government. That's why we have that. That's why 2A exists. And unfortunately, there will be some collateral damage. And don't get me wrong, I feel horrible for all those people and all those people's families. Okay, but I'm not going to get on fucking Twitter and be like thoughts and prayers, because thoughts and prayers don't do shit. Okay, and I'm not going to get on Twitter and be like, oh, well, I didn't get on Twitter and say anything about it. This is my time to vent and say this. I've discussed it with, friends and family and stuff, but I didn't get out there in front of the millions of people and say something dumb like, oh, I knew he was white. No, he's not. You're fucking stupid. So yeah, I'm not gonna get out there and say this. I will say this: gun control isn't gonna work. There's hundreds of things that are illegal that people still fucking do. So outlawing the tool is not going to make a difference. Oklahoma City, I hate to bring that up, but the Oklahoma City bombing was done with no guns. And that murdered a fuckload of people. Okay? The Bastille Day, lots of people died without guns. It's not the gun's fault. It's the crazy fucking person. So stop blaming the guns. And I know that it has nothing to do with mass murders and stuff like that. It is just the left's agenda to get guns out of our hands so they can have complete fucking control. That is it. If you think they care about any of these shootings, the schools, any of these, I said shootings, I meant murders. If you think they care about any of these, you're fucking dumb. Their number one goal is to disarm you so they can control you. They will do it by any means necessary. They don't care who dies. They do not care what happened in Boulder. None of that. On to other things about stuff like this. Not only is it utterly despicable to use strategies like this to further your whack job crazy fucking agenda, but it's utterly insane for the news media. Denver 7, they're a news station here, interviewed a woman who was clearly fucked up. Okay, she's in shock, she is distressed, she needs medical and psychological attention right fucking now. And Denver 7 took it upon themselves to continue the interview and steer it if she was, trailing off, like, oh, and just get her back. I mean, they have no fucking soul. This lady just saw her life flash before her eyes, possibly someone else lose theirs, and your first instinct is to stick a fucking microphone in her face. Now, I understand that she well could have said no, but that's not really how we work, especially if you're out of your mind because you're in shock and you just witnessed a murder, or your own life is flashing around. Okay, but they go and just jam a microphone in her face, and it just, fuck you. You are a scumbag just because you want to be the first to get your story and have it out on Twitter or Facebook or on the fucking TV. Okay, the other thing, we don't need, I'm sure 9 News and Channel 7 have got 50,000 little reporter bitches that, one or two, like Twitter, Facebook, you're not a real reporter. You just tweet things and you take pictures and you drive your own car. You wear your own jacket that you put a little 9 News on, but they still put you on the payroll. So all 50,000 of you little fucks show up to these scenes. And I swear this was the tweet. I just arrived on scene. It's chaos. There's way too many news people here. Please stay away. You stay away. Fuck, we don't need everybody there. It just, the vultures that descend on tragedy they're vultures. They're scumbag pieces of shit. And that goes for left, right, center, all that. Because if you're on the right going, oh, we need to get rid of Muslims, you fuck off too. But the right doesn't use tragedy like the left does. The left never let a good disaster, tragedy, whatever go to waste. They will always push their agenda for a tragedy. And it really, it's sad. And it's even sadder that most people are like, oh yeah, guns are the problem. No, guns aren't the problem. If you think guns are the problem, you're stupid. And if you want to debate that with me, I'd love to debate it with you. Okay? But we're not going to yell at each other. We're going to have an intelligent conversation. And you're going to have to come up with actual facts and numbers. A quick Google search will show you this stuff. Guns aren't the problem. It's crazy fucking people. Okay? 9/11 was crazy people. And he's not a domestic terrorist. Okay? Just because he lives here. He was from Syria. He might have been a terrorist. That's why the feds are involved. The sister-in-law said immediately, she's like, I know he's not white. So how do you know if the feds are involved, he's not white? And it turns out he wasn't. And then again, millions of people are like, oh, fucking white guys are angry. That's the biggest goddamn problem in this country. The biggest goddamn problem in this country is you, not you listening, but you saying that stupid shit. The politician saying that stupid shit. What was it? Harris's sister or aunt or Kamala, whatever, the VP, is mouthing off about this stuff, and she's completely fucking wrong. This is the people that the vice president surrounds herself with. People are just fucking wrong, just spout lies on the internet and be like, yeah, well, and then nothing happens. So yeah, wow, this was a huge tragedy in Boulder, and I'm sorry for the families of the deceased, and you know, and we can get into this a lot more as this calms down a little bit, because there's other things that should be talked about. Lots of people have said, well, you know, if a concealed carry person was there, they would have just, no, it's not how concealed carry works. You escape first, then if you can't escape, then you basically hide in a defensive position and then try and escape. And when all else fails, your list of like 5 things, then you shoot somebody. It's very, I mean, that's like the last possible fucking thing you do. So, but you are safer. I mean, I'm not afraid to go to the movies, a grocery store, school, because I take the responsibility to protect myself by carrying, and my family does that. And I mean, it works for us. If it doesn't work for you, you know, you're taking your own life into your own hands. But absolutely run first. But we can get into that later. You know, we can get into the cognitive dissonance of every time something like this happens, it's just like ban guns, you know, because it's the emotional reaction. Stop letting your emotions run your fucking life, people. Every time I've done something out of emotion and not thought it through, it's usually blown up in my face. That's just the way that works. And I can tell you, this too will blow up in your face. It's a bad idea to just start jumping on the bandwagon and being like, oh, we got to do this, and with your emotions. Don't do that. That's really poor judgment. You know, it's like, yeah, first girlfriend, man. You're, and this is opposite. This is happiness, not grief. But your first emotion is like love and lust. You just don't fucking marry him after knowing somebody for a day. That's poor planning. That's, you know, leading with your dick or your emotions. If you're super sad, you don't just wreck your life, you know, over this. You don't wreck the country. You don't do stupid things based on emotion. If you could come up with a logical, well thought out, factually accurate, supported argument on how outlawing guns would prevent this, I'd listen. The only problem is it's been happening for years and there's no argument for it. It's just people blame. More people die in car accidents. Let's get fucking rid of cars. Well, cars are a necessity. Guns are a necessity, motherfucker. They may not be to you because you're a spineless little bitch. But for us that love our freedom and would literally do anything for it, they're a necessity. Just like your little soybean lattes. Those are your necessity. Guns are mine. I tell you, when shit goes south. And no, we're not all just looking for a fight with our guns. If that were true, Antifa would have been wiped off the face of the planet a long fucking time ago. We're much more calm than those wackos. All right, we got to move on. We'll do a little bit more of politics. Hopefully, we'll stay out of the gun stuff. And then just an interesting thing that I've learned or discovered or known all along and want to share with you guys. How about that? So let's see. The border is getting absolutely much worse. There's tons of people down there just wanting to come in because, you know, America's so fucking horrible. We have all these. All right, we'll get off that. But nobody's gonna call it a crisis yet. Absolutely not. No one. When it absolutely is a crisis. You got all these people sending their kids and grandmas and people to our border, and they want in, and Biden's going to let them in. But he can't right now because it'd be a bad look. So when asked about it, he dodged all the questions, and his little ginger dodges all the questions. And Kamala, when she was, I don't know, she was getting on a plane or some shit like that. Also, everybody's been pointing this out, and the more I look, the more I see it. Has anyone ever noticed how Kamal doesn't salute any of the officers or soldiers, like when she boards the plane. I thought that was something like you had to do, or maybe not for her, or most people just did it out of respect, and she's just a disrespectful fuck, which that's probably more likely. But, they asked her, so you're going to go visit the border? And she, with her mask on, of course, because she's outside and we wouldn't want coronavirus to fucking swoop in. Um, she says, no, not today, and then does her ungodly, soulless, devilish cackle. And that's when we know she lies or is uncomfortable or something like that, when she does that fucking cackle. That's what hell is. In case any of you were wondering, it is not Lakes of Fire. It's none of that. It is that Kamala Harris cackle on a loop for fucking eternity. So she's not going to go down to the border today, and she thinks it's funny that she's not, or that there's this crisis or whatever. I mean, this is far worse than when Trump was president, because Trump told him, hey man, if you're going to seek asylum, your ass is going to stay in Mexico till we hear your case. So, some people are like, oh, okay, yeah, that doesn't sound too great. Maybe I won't flood the border, or I will stay in Mexico. Biden's like, oh yeah, sure, come on over. And then they get there, he's like, turns out, why don't you just hang out here in a cage for a while? Oh no, they're not cages, they're overflow facilities, fucking cages. So I guess today he appointed, or Kamala the headhunter is taking over as border czar. I don't know, she's gonna handle this. Yeah. So I don't know what she's gonna do. I think they just want to, yeah. Biden puts Kamala Harris in charge of solving migrant surge at border. I'm pretty sure her solution is going to be just let them all in and do it under the cover of darkness, and we'll just pay for everything, and hopefully no one notices. I believe that's the plan. But first, get them all registered as Democrats, and vote them good. That's really the only reason they want them in here. Votes. Again, they don't care. They're not paying for it. They just want votes. Which, I mean, you got illegals, dead people. Some people vote a couple times for Democrats. That's how they win elections. Let's see. Colorado is doing this nonsense thing. They want to pass this. I don't remember the actual name of the bill or the numbers, but what they want to do is in schools. I mean, they've already taken the cops out of Denver public schools. Like your, I don't know, whoever the cop was, it was like walking around like your police liaison officer or something, because it made the black kids uncomfortable, which I don't know why. You're fucking middle school, okay? If you're afraid of cops already, you're doing something wrong, or your parents fucking lied to you your whole life, which probably both. So we've already taken a school resource officer. That's what they're called. Denver's already taken those out of schools, thanks to Tay fucking Anderson, that piece of shit. But they want to pass this new thing. And Obama did something like this back when he was around, and I don't know if you guys knew about it or not, but what it says is that if a kid commits a crime at school, like let's say he beats somebody up pretty bad, that's actually assault. Okay, it's not just a fight. That's assault. I think it's just a fight. So bad example. I think more kids need to be beat up, and more kids need to fight back, because a lot of these internet warriors haven't been punched in the mouth enough. And again, if someone beats you up or picks on you and bullies them, you don't bring a gun to school, motherfucker. You fight back, okay? Or you just be a little bitch for your whole life. You don't bring a gun to school or a knife or anything like that, okay? I mean, in my day, if you had a bully, you stood up to him. I had a bully in 6th grade. Was it 6th? Oh, this kid was like 2 grades older than me, okay? And he picked on me all the time on the bus. One day he got off on my bus stop and followed me on my property, and I had enough of it. I turned around and I punched him in the face. I actually broke my hand on his jaw. I mean, I hit him pretty hard. And the last time he messed with me. Now I learned, don't let him get that far and stuff. And I mean, I probably was a bully too. Well, not really a bully, more of like hazing in sports. We actually did that, and it's not a bad thing. It's camaraderie. When it gets out of hand, and it's a bad thing. Okay, but new example. So kid brings, alcohol and drugs to school. Like hard drugs, not pot, because pot's fucking legal here. Say little Billy brings cocaine to school. Well, what this law is going to do is, and Billy gets caught. If when the school finds out, they're not going to call the cops. They're just going to deal with Billy in-house. So if Bobby is sexually harassing Susie and sexually assaults Susie, we're not going to call the cops. We're going to deal with Bobby in-house. If Johnny steals Billy's little iPhone, we're not going to call the cops. Now, mind, an iPhone's like $1,200 right now. That's a big fucking theft. It's not your little pencil case. We're not going to call the cops. We're going to deal with Bobby in-house. No, we're not. Okay? All these people are criminals. And I don't care if you're 15, 16, 17, 18, and probably even 14. At 13, if you're fucking assaulting women and shit like that, you should probably, be in the juvenile system too. Call the goddamn cops. What is wrong with you? Because I tell you what, the school is not going to discipline. You might get suspended for a day. That's not going to do anything. You might get suspended for a week. Still not going to do anything. You get expelled. Oh, great. Put them on the streets so they can learn more dumb shit to do. So the point is that if you get in trouble in a Colorado school for doing something weird or illegal, we're not going to call cops anymore. They can't call cops anymore, I think. I'm sure they're, if you stab somebody, I don't know where the line is, but it's way, way fucking out there. Like short of chopping someone's head off, I'm pretty sure they don't call the cops anymore. They let the school deal with it. And the reason behind this is because apparently, well, two things. Black and Hispanic kids were getting in more trouble than white kids. That has nothing to do with whether the cops are called or not. The other thing, and this is what I don't agree with, but I don't think this is a solution. I'll tell you the solution. Apparently, if a black or brown kid did something, he got suspended. Let's say he, brought a joint to school. He got suspended for a week. But if a white kid brought a joint to school, he got suspended for a day. So the punishments weren't equal for equal crimes. That's wrong. Okay. But the solution is just not stop punishing people, which is essentially what they're going to do. The solution is just to draw up a list and be like, okay, if you do this, this happens. It's just across the school district. Okay. So it doesn't matter. You're black, brown, white, purple, green, man, woman, fuck, donkey, chicken, whatever. If you bring a joint to school, we call the cops because you're not supposed to bring drugs to school. And that's what happens. Easy. Problem solved. Okay. If you stab somebody, we call the cops. Problem solved. Now, if you cheat on a test, we don't have to call the cops. But you get suspended for a week. And again, I don't care if you're black, brown, purple, white, green, fuck me, chicken, donkey, man, woman. If you cheat on tests, you get suspended for a week. That's the way it works. Or expelled or whatever the rules. But just apply it to everybody. Doesn't matter. Just make a list. Like, if you do this, this happens. If you do that, that happens. Okay, now if you do a criminal thing and the cops do get called and somehow, the black kid gets a worse punishment than the white kid, that's criminal justice. And maybe we start discussing reforming that. And we do have that, like murder gets this, rob. Yeah, but there's some discretion with judges and, attorney. We can get into that. But it has no fucking place in our schools. I'll tell you that right now. If somebody stabs somebody, you need to call the goddamn cops. I mean, I think it's almost as extreme as, if little Benny brings a gun to school and the school finds it, he doesn't do anything. He just brings a gun to school and the school finds it. They will deal with it in-house. They will not call the cops. That's fucking crazy. That's absolutely insane. And if you're a parent, with kids in school, and this is going on in your area in Denver or in Colorado, it'll be a Colorado thing, like all of Colorado. It's probably already in California. If it moves to your states, you guys need to fight this tooth and fucking nail. Yeah, I mean, little Jenny. You know, if Jenny says Billy raped her, the school's not going to call cops. They're going to deal with it in-house. And I tell you what, I don't know what schools you guys went to, but the ones I did, their investigative services or their investigative abilities are shit. I got away with a lot of stuff. Just because, I mean, again, you hire some like rent-a-cop or some, you know, school resource officer who's not a real officer who needs to investigate a crime is a bad fucking idea. That's a terrible plan. But it's so we stop the school to prison. There's no school to prison pipeline, okay? And if there is, there's something in there fucking things up. Parents, friends, shit like that. It is not the school. The school is not creating criminals, okay? Nowhere in school do you take a class like stab Bobby if he takes your backpack. Nope. You learn that somewhere else. And if you bring that shit to school, then yeah, you should probably be arrested. Same thing with your job. Your job doesn't teach you to go postal and start beating people up. So there's no job to prison pipeline either, motherfucker. There's a you're dumb to prison pipeline, which that's just the way that works. It's just the insanity of all this. Get rid of guns, no cops. Yeah, let's defund the police. You got mass shootings now, or I'm sorry, mass murders now. I hate to harp on this again, but with the mass murders, if you go on Twitter and follow the Denver Police Department, okay, I will say this about them. They're a good follow because if something's going on, like there's a bunch of cops in your neighborhood, you can tweet them and be like, hey man, what's going on? You know, like here and here. And if they're able to, they will tweet you back incredibly promptly and be like, hey, we're looking for somebody, you know, kind of stay inside or stay away or blah, blah, blah. Or there's lost chicken, or we were looking for somebody, we found them, everything's cool. They're really good about communicating most of the time. But follow their Twitter. Get up in the morning and look how many murders there were that night in Denver. 3 minimum every night. And nobody said shit about, you know, or just shootings in general. And nobody says shit about gun control. Yeah. Go look. I would do it, but I don't have Twitter up right now. We will for stupid tweets, but it's just the insanity. It's too fucking much. Stop being stupid. That's all I ask. All right, we're gonna lighten up a little bit. As you know, or if you don't know, you will shortly. I like to play video games every once in a while. A bunch of buddies of mine, we play video games together. I actually stream them, so and it will happen later tonight. Tonight's Wednesday, by the way. So if, I don't know that you're going to hear this, but when we go live, you should watch us anytime we go live. We're on YouTube at Dutch in Denver. But we're Xbox people. All my friends are Xbox. I started on Xbox. I haven't ever switched. I do have a gaming PC, so that's important to note when we get into this, because the main thing that I want to discuss is crossplay, and I don't know if you guys know what that is. Let's set up the premise. So one of the games we play is Call of Duty. It's a shooter game. And no, it doesn't make me violent. I've never wanted to shoot anybody because of Call of Duty. Shoot people for other reasons, but we'll talk about that later. And there's a new mode. It's new to Call of Duty, but not new in the industry. It's called BR, or Battle Royale, where you just get a bunch of people together on different teams and you try and, you know, pick each other off. It's like large scale, you know, and the last team standing wins. And they've introduced crossplay. And what crossplay means is that anyone on any system can play. So, you know, if you have a PC, a PlayStation or an Xbox, you can jump into Battle Warzone is what they call it, their version of it, and you can play. And if you have crossplay turned on, so save me on Xbox. If you guys want to ever play Xbox with me, at Dutch the Beast. Well, Dutch the Beast is my gamer tag. At Dutch the Beast is Twitter. But I will, I might get in a lobby that has like 5 Xbox players and like 100 PC players and like 50 PlayStation players, which is fine with PlayStation and Xbox. Where I have the issue is with PC. They have an unbelievably clear advantage. Now, before I get any further, people will be like, well, Dutch, why don't you just turn off crossplay? I have done that. But the problem with turning off crossplay is the pool of players that you have available shrinks a lot due to skill-based matchmaking and things like that. So you could be waiting in lobbies for more than a couple minutes, and then you don't get to play as much, and it's boring and blah, blah, blah. So it's kind of a trade-off. Do you want all clean games? And they won't even be clean always on Xbox or on PlayStation or even on PC, because there still are cheaters, and we'll talk about cheating too. But for our purposes, it's a PC versus console thing. Let's stick there. So, and I mean, part of the issue with PC is clearly the computing is faster. It's a better rig. It does things better. For instance, field of vision, they can see more on left and right, up and down than we can. Ours is set. And the way that the game works is, unfortunately, this is mine, this is theirs. I don't know, you can't see my hands, but this is mine. I don't see over here, but they see me and I get shot. And which I understand. Okay. But in the same situation, they would see me and be able to defend themselves. So, for instance, the settings, they shouldn't be able to change that field of view crap, or I should be able to change it. And now I know people are going to say, well, you PC game because you want options like that and customizability and shit like that. Fine. But if you're going to introduce crossplay, you have to turn off those settings for those players, or you have to add them for those players, because it's just not fun. I'm tired of getting wrecked by nerds on PC who were, 10 seconds ahead of me. I mean, the servers are shit to begin with. But then you add somebody with clear advantages and aim assist. Everybody talks about aim assist. Oh, controller aim. Fuck you, nerd. Okay, if you think aim assist is that good, you clearly have never played on a console. Because if you've ever watched my gameplay, my aim assist throws me all over the place, anywhere but the target. And it's not that great. It's not like it pulls your gun to their head and zaps you. On a PC, all you do is point and click. I'm much better at pointing and clicking than taking my thumbs, and it's just, and the sway isn't there because you just hold that there. The sway, you can't hold it on console. It still sways, and then you have to get it back. The rendering. Yeah, I don't want to hear shit about aim assist. You shut the fuck up, PC nerds. And again, I've had game PC. I know. I can do it too. I like console better. I really do. It's where, I mean, I'm not great with, the mouse and keyboard yet, but I still understand that it's much better. And I can change settings. For instance, Warzone, one of my biggest complaints is audio, and that's fucked for everybody. So we're not going to put that in there. That's just poor game coding or whatever. I don't know how they make these games, but the audio is fucking terrible. Like, sometimes you can hear somebody right behind you, and then other times, they're like a herd of elephants is up behind you and you don't hear anything. It's nuts how poorly it is, and people will still play it. But that's not the point. So as for the lighting, I've long complained that I play on a proper gaming setup, like a small screen. I'm right there, but I can't see far enough away. Like, it either doesn't render or the lighting's fucked up and I can't see the person. But son of a bitch, they can see me. And that's not fair. Or even close up. You can hide in a little corner in one of these black skins that these people wear. Yeah, you buy the skin, and then your guy wears like all fucking black. Actually, I think it's a chick, wears all fucking black. You can just like literally hide in front of someone and they can't see you at all, but you can see them. On PC though, I can change my graphic settings and stuff, and I can make it brighter or render better. Or I don't know, but you can see people way further away, and then you can see that person wearing all black in the shadows. So you have an advantage. And it's again, I understand if you want a PC for the advantage, but you don't get a PC to shit on console players. And honestly, that's why I got a PC. And they were just like, this is stupid. It's no. I um and I'm learning keyboard and mouse, and I'll probably get better at it, but I don't think that you should be able to shit on console players just because you have more settings to fuck with than we do, or you have an easier way to aim. Now, if you want to run a PC solely for the frames per second, or frames per second, because that's a huge thing. Like if 60 frames per second is fucking rolling. But if you're like 120 or something, then you're really and it's just a crisper, cleaner game for sliding and shooting and things. It's great. So either ramp them down or ramp us up. You can't tell me I hear the new Xbox. No, I have a new one. Fuck that. They don't do it. It's still not the same. It's better, but it's not the same. So if you want to play just strictly PC, fine, keep all your settings. But if you're going to mix it with lessers, somehow, and then now I know I sound like a liberal. Oh my God, it just hit me. Making it fair. But you have to a little bit, because it's just not fun in a leisurely activity. And yeah, in sports, you should make things fair. Sports are sometimes about fairness. Okay, one team doesn't get, in baseball, one team doesn't get to use a metal bat while the other team still has to use wood. That's kind of how this is. They're not shooting lasers at second base, killing them when I'm still hitting with a wooden bat. I mean, it's things like that super bother me about it. And it's not really a huge deal because there are still some PC kids that I can shit on. Again, I'm not a terrible video game player. Well, if you guys watch the stream, maybe I am a terrible video game player. But it's just, I don't know, it's little things like that that irritate me. And then you put a crap game on top of it, and the only one to play right now is Call of Duty. I mean, there's other ones that I do play and stuff that do not have crossplay, which is nice. But I would like to play with some other people. For instance, ESO, totally different on computer. They have add-ons that tell you where stuff is. You don't have to like go online and search for this crap to find lore books. It automatically does this, but it's just much more fluid. And again, you have way many more keys that you can, do things with, which I get that. I get the convenience. I get all that. But that doesn't mean you just get to jump in and start shitting on people in a game that's, made for console or whatever. And like I said, the frames per second, you're faster. Usually your internet connection is faster or better, because mine has to go through Xbox, which I don't know what the fuck Xbox's problem is, but I test my internet all the time, and we're like gig speed internet. And I jump on Call of Duty and it's throttled down to, like dial up. It's like, what the fuck? Don't penalize me. I have good internet, and so now I have to get shit internet for some reason. I don't get it. I honestly don't. But, I mean, it's little things like that. It's still fun. But, and especially so the Warzone's free. It's free to, it's like, Fortnite. Okay. It's free to play, but they make all their money off you buying skins to make your character look like a fucking unicorn or whatever. Okay. Stuff I don't care about at all. But since it is free, and Activision has there's no anti-cheat software in this game, and that'll be a little bit more complicated, but basically there's nothing built in the game that can figure out if you're cheating or not. The only way that Call of Duty figures out you're cheating is if you're reported by other players, or you do something stupid like when you're live streaming, you show your cheat software. That's the only way. And quite frankly, they don't care, because it draws more people to their game, and maybe that cheater spends like $5 on the black skin so he can hide better and cheat. But there's no anti-cheat software in it. So for the people who did pay for the game, like I did for the whole game, because that's multiplayer zombies, the campaign is the game, and then Warzone is separate but the same Call of Duty skin. You get in a lobby with a bunch of cheaters, not a bunch, but a couple who just wrecked the lobby, and it's no fun. and there's nothing you can do about it. You report them, and yeah, maybe Call of Duty bans them, and if they do, they literally just make another gamer tag or another account and get back into the free game. You know, because they just like name ban. They should ban hardware or IPs or something like that. It's a poor way to do it. And the reason I bring that up is because Kyle, our old buddy Kyle, sent me something today that the CEO of Activision or whatever. So Activision dropped like almost 200 employees last week or this week for no fucking reason, when they have a record-setting year of profits once again. And depending on the numbers, this president or CEO of Activision either got 40 million or 440 million in bonuses this year. Either way, a fuckload. And it makes people like the gaming community angry, because you're making money literally hand over fucking fist, and you can't even fix the audio in a game. Like, it was super important in a shooter to hear footsteps behind you. Now, there are perks called, like one called Dead Silence, that mutes your footsteps, but it's only for like 10 seconds. So then, yes, if you know someone's in that room, put on Dead Silence, run in, sneak in, good, got him, great. But to have the whole game like that, no, not cool. Horrible. To have the whole game with no anti-cheat engine just because you want to make more fucking money, no, not cool. Horrible. Scumbaggy shit. But they've done that forever, and we're all slaves to it, and we'll still do it because, I mean, Battlefield takes fucking 5 years to come out with a game, and then it does get stale, and they don't monitor the servers as it gets stale, and then the cheaters come out, and it sucks. Call of Duty pumps out a new game every fucking year, and we, like drug addicts, just go back to it, and then after a couple months, like, oh, it sucks, it's horrible. And you know, I am complaining, but I'm not. I'm doing this more for the community, not me, because quite frankly, I don't fucking care. I play it to relax, and sometimes it does irritate me, but normally then I just shut it off. I don't care how good I am at Call of Duty. It entertains me. I get to hang out with my friends, talk a little bit, relax. You guys get to watch some fun stuff. We have cool conversations, but my kill death ratio does not fucking matter to me. I have never once used that to better myself. Never met a girl and been like, hey, I got a good KD ratio. She'd probably like, what the fuck are you talking about? Go away. It's not a point of bragging for me. I don't care. I don't think I'm the worst, but I'm definitely not the best. I'm probably average at best. And it's not that for me. But even for the average player, the things that they do to ruin the game drives us away. And then, I mean, for a while there, I was at the point like, I'm just gonna be done playing video games. They don't fucking care about you anymore. Even as the consumer, the people that are giving you this 100 million in bonuses or whatever, you don't give a shit about. Well, fine, then fuck you. So, but you know, they're still fun, and I still will continue to play. These are more suggestions and in the form of gripes. I think the PC console crossplay thing needs to be solved, because it's not always fun. The cheating definitely does. The sound, geez, fix the fucking sound. That's all. Actually, that's all I ask. If I never once slammed my headset down, it was because I couldn't hear anything when they didn't have Dead Silence on, I'd be much happier. Uh, but hey, other than that, you know, it's all good. Like I said, we'll be streaming tonight. If you guys follow me on Twitter at Dutch in Denver, it's actually on the screen now. We're getting better at this. If you're just listening to this audio, it's Dutch in Denver, no I with the N, and that's the only place it's that way. Everywhere else on our social media, it is Dutch in Denver with an I. Twitter already has the I in its name, so we didn't use one. See, that's kind of funny. Or at Dutch the Beast on Twitter, YouTube, anchor.fm/Dutch the Beast, Dutch the Beast on, anchor.fm/Dutch in Denver. Dutch the Beast is one Twitter and a gamer tag. But yeah, watch us live on there, interact, play with us if you want to. No problems there. Would love to play with some of you guys. Would love to talk to some of you guys. See if you have any suggestions, anything like that. And with that, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go have a couple more cocktails, get some dinner. I think we're having elk steaks tonight. Yeah, my brother's cooking. See how that goes. And then I'll be back to do a little bit of gaming. Hey, I appreciate you guys listening, and always, 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 thank you, thank you. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Bye.